Welcome everybody to this meeting. Nice to see a full house. My name is Jenny Sutton. I'm in Tottenham branch of the Socialist Workers' Party. I'm also the branch secretary of the UCU at Tottenham College in North East London, where I'm proud to say we no longer have an Israeli company supplying our water in our staff rooms. And of course, one of the principal inspirers, aside from the struggle of the Palestinian people, one of the principal inspirers, sources of inspiration, was Ilan Pappe, who I'm really, really proud to welcome here today to talk to us. Ilan is an academic and an activist. He's director of the European Centre for Palestine Studies at the University of Exeter, and he was forced out of Israel in 2007. He was forced to resign from Haifa University after promoting the cause of boycott, disinvestment and sanctions. So he's here to talk about... He's going to talk for half an hour on Israel, the apartheid state, and then we'll have questions and contributions. Thank you, Ilan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nearly good afternoon. It's great to be here. Watching the last few weeks or last few days and realizing actually that I prepared the talk before the recent upheaval, I'm sure all of you are here and are engaged with the Palestine question know that for us, Palestinians and those who are struggling in solidarity with the Palestinians, upheavals are good things, not bad things. People who are oppressed and colonized, disempowered, where the balance of power constantly goes against them, have nothing to lose from a status quo that is being challenged. And those of us on the left who cherish the status quo and are afraid from rattling the boat should think about those who are sinking and not just those who are having the upper decks in a ferry. It is usually rare to see the academia or the academic work helping activism by actually vanguarding, spearheading the discussion and conversation on Palestine. Usually it is the activists who are far more daring, far more bold in proposing new ways at looking at the evergreen problem of the oppression of the Palestinian people. And until recently, I think it was right to say that activists were the ones who defined the agenda of the struggle for Palestine. But something happened to that activism in the 1990s because of the Oslo Accord and the first serious challenges to what seemed at the time to be the ideal solution for the Palestine question, the two-state solution. Once this was seriously challenged by activists, it also created a kind of a division within the activism. Because on the one hand, the leadership of the Palestinian movement, disempowered, confined to Ramallah, not enjoying the legitimacy of many Palestinians, was still holding on to the two-state solution as the only way forward for Palestine, whereas on the ground and activists around the world felt that this was an anachronistic idea that lost its relevance and could not be the right formula for peace. One of the good results of this schism in the activist world was the emergence of the BDS, the Boycott, Divestment and Sanction movement, which did not have to relate to the kind of solution it envisages in Palestine. It left it for the people themselves to produce the solution, but found a common ground for activists who want to work for Palestine to join forces together, whether they agree about the two states or the one state, and work for the boycott, divestment, and sanction campaign. So I think that was a very important development in the world of activism. While that happened, in the academia, something positive happened as well. There is a growing tendency among academics in various parts of the academic world who work on Palestine to do two things that they have not been doing in the past. One, there is a clearer sense of commitment to issues like Palestine, I think as a result of the crisis in 2008, to deal with Palestine as a committed topic, not to hide behind the pretense of academic objectivity, unbiased scientific research, to say we don't have a position, we are just researching the past, we're just analyzing the present, we're just predicting the future, but this has nothing to do with our moral or ideological positions. Because if we will obey our moral and ideological position, our research will not be scientific. It will not be objective. Now, of course, you cannot have an objective research on Palestine. Either you believe in the Palestinians or the Palestinian cause, or you don't believe. And that particular position affects everything you do. The history you write, the narrative you believe in, the analysis you provide for the present, and your hopes for the future. And thank God, in the recent kind of 10 or 15 years in the West, and also beyond the West, the research on Palestine is not hiding anymore behind the shield of objectivity and unbiased scientific research, which surprisingly always produced the Zionist narrative. Whenever people claimed that they were scientifically objective, they came out with the Zionist narrative. Whenever people claim that they are subjective, but nonetheless pedantic scholars, responsible scholars, scholars with integrity, they came out with the narrative of Palestine, the Palestinian narrative. So I think that's a very positive development. The second development that has occurred recently was to put aside the debate I was describing before within the community of activists and focus on a paradigm, on a perspective on Palestine that would enable this committed research to contribute something for the struggle itself. To see the added value of asking activists to go to the university, to study, to get a degree, and then continue the struggle for Palestine. This didn't mean that other sections in the solidarity movement do not have their role. Of course they have their role. The trade unionists, the activists, everybody has a role. But there was a clearer definition of what could be the specific contribution of academic and scholarly research on Palestine, which was totally missing, I think, until 10 or 15 years ago in the world of academia. And that particular paradigm, that particular perspective on Palestine was revisiting Palestine and Israel as a settler colonialist state, or rather Israel as a settler colonialist state. I say revisiting because nobody invents the wheel when it comes to Palestine. There was already a discussion about Zionism as a settler colonialist movement in the 50s and in the 60s, but it didn't catch. Now it is very attractive to PhD students, to scholars, and it became so prominent that it also produced a very excellent academic journal called the Settler Colonial Studies, where Palestine is prominent as a case study.